Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Scott Palmer, Dave Roberts, Lisa Thomas-Laurie, and Mark Howard.
Good evening. In the news, day 4 of the federal government shutdown, and the president vetoes a $27 billion bill that would have funded 3 government departments.
And the man who will take control of NATO's largest ever U.S.-led military operation arrives in Sarajevo.
But the big story on Action News tonight is a nasty rush hour drive home for commuters as an icy winter storm continues to move across the Delaware Valley. First, we go live to the action cam on the Schuylkill Expressway. This is the turnaround on City Line Avenue. These cars are coming out of Philadelphia, and as you can see, traffic is barely moving out there. There's about an inch of slush, which is freezing, and more freezing rain is falling, and of course more snow's coming, and Dave has more on that coming up in a minute. Now, earlier today, the ice may have touched off this 10-vehicle crash on I-95 out near the airport. A tractor-trailer and a delivery truck were among the vehicles involved in the accident in the northbound lanes. 2 people suffered only minor injuries, fortunately. No injuries, however, in a second 4-car chain reaction. This one happened in the southbound lanes a while later. In South Philadelphia, tow trucks were clearing cars away, but not because of an accident. Crews were out at Broad and Reed enforcing the Philadelphia snow emergency, which outlaws parking on major routes during the snow. And while ice is the main problem in the city right now, it is mostly snow blanketing the northern and western suburbs. In Newtown, Bucks County, a visitor from the North Pole added to the wintry scene.
And right now, Dave Roberts is outside live. He and AccuRadar have been tracking our winter storm. Dave?
Well, a cold, biting sleet continues to pelt the area. Let's go live in the action cam. Take a look at the street behind me. We'll see the traffic. And traffic is just moving fine, but very, very slowly. Of course, a lot of people left early, and there are less people on the road. The roads were well salted earlier, but now the sleet just continues to build. There'll be less traffic out tonight, and things are just going to ice over, so it's going to get worse. Action Radar, live from the action cam to Action Radar. There's the movement of the system from about 11 o'clock this morning. It just continues to just move through our area. There's a little more to our south, more to our west. Let's break it down and see the mixture within. All day long, we've been on that line between the mix of freezing rain and sleet. We're still on that line. You can see the heavy snow all to our north, a little moisture to our south. We're expecting that snow to sink down into the area. So the call from AccuWeather for tonight is we're going to have the ice, which we have right now, and then we're going to go to some snow. Overnight lows 20 to 24 degrees. We expect the snow to change over between 9 and 11 o'clock. It'll go northwest to southeast. We could pick up several more inches before it's over. Rush hour in the morning is going to be windy and cold. There may be a little snow hanging out, but the wind chills will be near 0. And tomorrow, windy and cold with more flurries, a high of only 28 degrees, and wind chills near 0 with winds northwesterly, 15 to 35 miles per hour. So the sleet continues, and snow is on the way. That's the latest. We'll stay on top of it. Lisa?
All right, thank you, Dave. As you know, Dave, we have reporters and Action News crews all over the Delaware Valley. Right now, let's go live to David Murphy on Route 611 in Abington. David, how's the evening rush?
All things considered, Lisa, not too bad here on Route 611 in Abington right now. The sleet is beginning to fall a little bit harder in the last 15 minutes, but as I look at the road surface, we've basically got a lot of blacktop showing through and slush. There are slick spots, and we've been told that the side streets are a real mess up here in Bucks County, but basically people are getting through here okay because they're taking it slow. Drivers have been crawling along 611 like here in Jenkintown today.
Slippery.
I saw you taking it very slow.
You better head. Otherwise, you slide all over the road.
There are plenty of idiots out there. I let them all pass me. And they can go wherever they want to go. I just want to get there safely and soundly.
The road itself has remained at least partially slush-covered with some traction. Plow and salt trucks have been through here all afternoon preparing for rush hour. What are they up against?
I give up. I'm just going to run the car and let it warm up.
The fine coat of ice evident just off the road from sleet that's been falling for much of the day. Merchants have been trying to carve through it to their sidewalks, some of them with visions of better times.
You definitely want to get out of this stuff, go skiing, lay on the beach. This is not where you want to be.
Let me guess, you're a travel agent.
That's correct.
Better times, even for travel agents, are now only visions. Back to reality on 611 now at this hour. Main routes out of the city into Bucks appear to be slippery but passable right now. But as we said, side streets could be even worse, and as Dave Roberts mentioned a moment ago, icing conditions should build as the evening continues. So take it slow, no tailgating tonight, no impatient drivers, please, on the way home. David Murphy live with the Action Cam, Abington.
Okay, Dave, we're paying attention here. Now, we got all sorts of problems to develop, or to tell you about developing on mass transit as the storm continues to spread ice and snow across our area. Let's go live right now on the Action Cam to the 69th Street Terminal in Upper Darby, and we'll run down some of the problems that we know of. SEPTA's detouring the Route 19 bus, which goes through Olney because of the ice. Icy roads also have the Route 116 in Delaware County detouring around side streets. The flash buses in Center City, I say the flash buses, are not running. And paratransit's only picking up dialysis patients and people commuting to work. Now, across the bridge, New Jersey Transit reports some delays on buses through Camden and Trenton. No major delays on Dart in Delaware. But passengers using Amtrak can expect minor delays all along the Northeast Corridor because of this worsening storm. Now, no Sky 6. All right, the good news from the airport is the runways are open. We can tell you that much. The bad news is that things are running slow. The airport officials tell us that some of the flights are delayed in and out. 600 flights were canceled today. That's about half the normal daily load. That's because, not because the runways are bad, that's because the crews can't keep up with the de-icing. Now, the news for anybody expecting to pick somebody up or leave town, call your travel agent. Call the airlines. About half the flights today went out. Again, about half didn't because of that de-icing problem you just saw. The bigger problem, of course, than our own airport is airports to the north and west. Many of them are closed. Others will be closed. All we can tell you is to check with the airlines before you go to Philadelphia International Airport.
Well, that's good advice, and snow is wreaking havoc at airports in New Jersey and in the Big Apple. Officials shut down some of the runways at the airport in Newark today. By noon, more than 125 flights had been canceled. There were also delays at Kennedy and LaGuardia airports. Visibility was bad as planes landed. Many had to be de-iced. In New York City, a taxi traveling fast on the ice lost control, and you can see here he slammed into another taxi, sending it crashing into a storefront. The airbag released. The driver and passenger escaped serious injury. At least a foot of snow is expected across New York City by tomorrow morning. In New Jersey, state workers were sent home today, but not as soon as they had hoped. Jersey correspondent Nora Mushanek is standing by live in Trenton. Nora?
Lisa, we are live outside the train station right now where mass transit is moving pretty well right now. New Jersey Transit, Amtrak, and some of the buses are moving with only minimal delays, as you mentioned before, and some of those state workers are hopefully on these or have taken them already and gotten out of town. The roads are another story. They are very slippery and snow-covered still at this hour. The weather has been trying people's patience all day.
I could do without the snow. I've had enough, and there's only been a couple little storms.
You're over it already?
Yes.
Thousands of state workers bolted from their offices and headed home this afternoon after getting word it was okay to leave in staggered shifts.
It's terrible out here. The roads are awful. People are slipping and sliding. It's about time to let us go home.
But they were greeted by snowy and slippery roads, made so by the hours of sleet that have pelted the pavement. Most everyone who's been outdoors today, sanding, shoveling, even sweeping, has already had enough.
I don't care too much for it, especially when I'm out here and I have to do the work in it. But
you've got a lot of shoveling ahead of you, I think.
A whole lot.
About the only people enjoying the snow were area school children, most of whom got the day off.
It's awesome. Why? Because, we haven't had snow this early in a long time. It's just cool to be out here when there's no school and just sledding all day.
This weather has thrown a wrench into more than one person's holiday shopping plans, but believe it or not, some folks braved the elements at Quaker Bridge Mall and shopped while the snow dropped.
I had the day off because of the snow. I thought I'd make good use of the time.
And are you?
Yes, I finished. 5 minutes, I was done.
Oh, and about the predicted snowfall so close to the holiday?
All these years that I'm waiting for a white Christmas, and now I've got it, and I'm not sure I want it.
What we've got right now is sleet. There are actually little ice balls falling. They've been falling all afternoon. The Department of Transportation has about 1,000 public and private plows and sanders out on the roads right now to try and clear them off as all this snow and sleet freezes. The situation is going to get more and more treacherous. Please be careful driving. That's the latest from here. I'm Nora Mushanek reporting live in the Action Cam from Trenton, New Jersey.
Thanks, Nora. Now, drivers in Delaware are also being urged to use caution on the drive home tonight. The Diamond State still is seeing a mixture of snow, rain, and sleet, but not much accumulation yet. But again, overnight, who knows? State police say the major roads are relatively clear, but ramps and bridges all around Delaware are icy. Road crews have been out on alert all day. They're out salting, trying to deal with this ice. Now, icy roads made for treacherous driving in the Poconos today. Many of the roads are just slushy. Snow plows out in full force in the Pokes. Ski areas looking forward to 8 to 14 inches of new snow, which is predicted to blanket the region by the end of the storm sometime tomorrow. However, the forecasters are saying a system moving off the coast of North Carolina, bringing warmer temperatures to the Poconos, turning much of that planned snow into sleet and rain today. They are hoping for more snow tonight and into tomorrow. So stay with Action News for complete weather coverage. We'll have updates throughout this evening, and of course the very latest from Dave Roberts and AccuWeather tonight when they update the forecast for Action News at 11.
Watching the weather. Phase 1 of our storm, which is now heading through Kentucky, heading toward Virginia. Phase 2 is this low, which as it develops off of the coast is going to bring the snow and the ice into the northeast and continue with that over the next few days, at least the snow will, and into Florida. Ahead of this cold front, there have been some rather heavy storms. Those are off the coast now. Still some heavy snow stretching from Ohio into Pennsylvania. Now snowing, starting to pick up heavier over to New York City and especially over northern western suburbs up to around Caldwell. You're looking at some heavier snow. Forecast does call for the snow to continue. Already we've seen a nice 6 to 12 inch swath from Indianapolis, Cleveland, north of Pittsburgh, and generally north of Interstate 80 across Pennsylvania. That's where the heaviest snow has been. Indianapolis officially, at least last check, 8 inches. Cleveland, you have seen 7. New York at LaGuardia, 2 inches. Here's our forecast, how much more snow we are expecting. A general foot of snow, maybe more around Boston. Around New York City, probably about a foot of snow. And around Philadelphia, especially northern western suburbs, definitely you're going to see it. And around Baltimore and D.C., more ice and sleet probably than snow. You may see the tail end of it change over to snow, which will be maybe an inch or two, but really the sleet and the ice more of a problem. Looking to the waters, marine warnings out from Merrimack River to Fenwick Island, and those are gale warnings. Also, coastal flood warnings are in effect from Merrimack River to Sandy Hook. Fenwick Island, still the coastal flood watches are out. Let's look at a couple radars and show you what's going on. Here's the eastern seaboard. One low pressure center weakening here. The next one trying to form off the Virginia Capes, taking you into a closer view of the Midwest. The snow really tapering off across Indiana. The snow pretty much made its way down to around the Ohio River in northern Kentucky. And still some bands of snow across central Ohio, with the heaviest of the snow in eastern Ohio. Again, a closer view of Indiana showing the snow really tapering off. Around Indianapolis, you saw your 8 inches of snow. Now it's pretty much history. Around Cleveland, you're also going to see it end, although I'm just going to wonder if there's going to be a little bit of this moisture still come off to the lake. As we talk about storms, we do see some of this moisture continue across Pennsylvania. That is still going to be very heavy around New York City. Some heavy snow tonight into tomorrow morning. In Boston, you're really going to start seeing it move in over the next couple of hours. Let's look at our weekend outlook, which is sponsored by Alka-Seltzer.
Light spotty snow in northeast New York, northern Vermont, New Hampshire, parts of northern Maine. But getting kind of heavy overnight into southern Maine, York County, Cumberland County, Portland, on up toward about the lower end of I-95. Most of Massachusetts, if not all, heavy snow by morning. A little bit heavier, if anything, in Connecticut. Now, Cape Cod, you could have a mixture and even a period of rain, but the sleet mixed in New York will turn to snow, New York City and Long Island, that is, and central New Jersey eventually going over to snow, but sleet is piling up around Trenton right now, coming down heavily, and even some freezing rain around Baltimore. There it is, read it and weep through today tomorrow. unless you like that sort of a thing. And different viewpoint of Wednesday here. As we look out into the Cascades and see some snow there, we'll have rain at the southern end of this particular storm system, and thunderstorms, little bitty area down in South Florida, still getting a few rumbles, but the worst is over. Fog in the east and fog in the west. Stay with us.
Presenting the ultimate tire for your sport utility vehicle, the Michelin LTX. Michelin's technological advances in sidewall and tread design give it a smoother, quieter ride than you might ever expect from a 4x4 tire.